Yo, what's up everyone? Back for this main slate that we have for Wednesday. I already posted the early slate video. I'll post a link in the comments if you want to watch that. Anyway, let's get right into this video. You can drop a like and subscribe down below. Let's try to get 100 plus likes on the video. And you can visit the website, links in the description if you want to get on board. Looking to get back on track today with these two slates that we have. So let's get started here. At pitcher, as always, we have Mike Minor's the highest priced pitcher. Personally, I would have Corbin or Morton priced higher than Mike Minor, even though he's been pretty good this season. In this spot, I also don't mind Matt Boyd here at 10,000 against the Rangers, just because they're not very good against lefties. But Corbin is your safest option here, 10-6. Facing the Marlins, they should have the lowest total on the slate. The Marlins should. He has a ton of upside in the 30s. His price tag was down. You got a cheap price tag for him once. Hopefully jumped on that. It was at 8,200 for one start. Now he's back to 10.6 where he belongs. He belongs to this price range with the upside that he has. It's a big ballpark upgrade going into Miami. They're not very good against left-handed pitching. They strike out a decent amount, and Corbin has still been racking up Ks with 102 and just 92 innings on the season. I think he's going to have a pretty good game, so I'll go with him as my first pitcher. And then I'm just going to go with get both pitchers from this game, just because I think both have a lot of upside, and both, obviously, the conditions are great to pitch in Miami. Zach Gallen is one of the Marlins' better pitching prospects. He had a 1.77 ERA in AAA with 112 strikeouts in 91 innings, just 17 walks. I think he's gonna be a big part of their future. The first game of his MLB debut, he went 99 pitches, 5 innings, just 1 run given up with 6 strikeouts, put up 17. Has a repeat performance like that, we'll definitely take it here at 7,100. So I think he's a pretty good option here. I also don't mind Adam Wainwright at 7,000 with all the righties from the A's, and Wainwright's been much better against righties and much better at home this year. But after what Flaherty did to me yesterday, I'm not ready to just attack the A's with another righty, and Wainwright is worse than Flaherty. I'll go with Gallen, who I think is a little safer given the matchup and given the ballpark. So let's get it started here. Looking at teams to stack, there are quite a bit of stacks that I like. I like the Brewers stack quite a bit. They're going to face an opener, then they're going to face Wade LeBlanc, who is a lefty. I like the righties on this Brewers team, and he's given up 10 home runs in just 51 innings on the season. I don't mind some Houston bats against Agrizel. I like the Phillies a little bit here against Vargas, even though he's been a little better as of late. The last couple starts, he's kind of went back to his original form. In this ballpark, the ball has been flying this series out of the park. I think the Phillies can hit a few more home runs. I like a few Mets, and that's pretty much it. So let's get it started here. At second base, I like Jose Altuve. Just too cheap here at just 4,100. He should always be one of the higher priced second basemen on the slate, but you're getting him at a nice price tag. He's starting to hit the ball a lot better. We know what Altuve can do against right-handed pitching or left-handed pitching. He just hits for a high average. Has a little bit of speed as well. And the Astros should have a nice total on the slate. They're getting healthier with Springer, I think, made his return yesterday. So that's always a boost for stacking, getting your better hitters in the lineup. Altuve this year has been much better against lefties, but career-wise, he's still really good against righties with a career 305 average and a career 436 slugging. Just doesn't strike out that much, has some speed. I think he can have a good game here at home against Agrizel. Next up at third base here. At third base, I forgot to talk about first base. I'm going to go back to first base and go with Rhys Hoskins here. Hoskins here is at 4,700. I like him quite a bit. He's a really streaky hitter. But facing a lefty, he's been good against lefties this season, especially for power. And Vargas for his career, and as of late, the past couple seasons, has gotten destroyed against right-handed bats, especially right-handed power bats. Hoskins has been really good for his career at home. Show you the numbers for him. This season, he has a 281 average against lefties with a 297 ISO. and a 5.78 slugging percentage. Also has a lower strikeout rate against them and walking a lot more. Career-wise, he's been a lot better against righties. Like we said, he's reverse splits. But this season, it's a little different. Even though it's a smaller sample size, so I won't be shocked if these numbers repeat. Go back to normal, but still has a 227 ISO against lefties, really solid. The Mets bullpen is terrible. So as we saw yesterday, the Phillies kind of got to the Mets when the starting pitcher got out of the game. The same thing could happen again today. And at home, he's been so much better here in Citizens Bank Park. Career-wise, he has a impressive 306 ISO at home in Citizens Bank Park with a 5.74 slugging percentage. He's also nicely priced here at $4,700, and he's very streaky, and he has been hitting a lot of home runs as of late. He hit another home run yesterday, so now he's hit 3 home runs in his last 4 games. And we know what Hoskins can do. He's a really streaky guy. He can go on a run with, in 2 weeks, hit 10 home runs. Probably not 10, but probably a couple, 5 to 6. So I like those two bats quite a bit. In the outfield, I really like Ryan Braun here. He's going to get to face an opener. He's probably going to get to face an opener for 1 at-bat. And then we'll get to face a lefty here in Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc is not very good at keeping power in the park, at keeping the ball in the park. He gives up quite a bit of home runs. I believe he gives up quite a bit of fly balls too. And on the season, he's been giving up power to both sides of the plate. Both sides have over a 500 slugging against him. 8 of his 10 home runs have come against righties. And he's been worse on the road, and it's a great ballpark to hit in, Miller Park. He only has a 14% K rate to righties, a 5.49 xFIP. Love the spot here, especially for the righties on the Brewers. He gives up a ton of fly balls, a 40% fly ball rate. And Ryan Braun, this season, before his career, he's been much better against lefties. This year, it's a pretty small sample size. I'm not sure he's hitting the ball super well against lefties, but I don't really care. I'll still look at his overall body of work when considering things. And against lefties, I've always been playing him against lefties the past couple years in baseball. Career 317 average against lefties. Career 281 ISO, and Miller Park, he's been really good at home. So with a 298 career average at home. Love the spot here for Ryan Braun. He's not even overly expensive at $4,500. And last but not least, I like Cole Calhoun here. Just a lot of pop for a guy under $4,000. He has 16 home runs already on the season as a part-time player. And we know what Tanner Roark struggles against. It's left-handed bats. Calhoun has a lot of power against righties. Roark this season has been decent in some of his starts, but he's still been getting hit pretty hard against lefties with a 293 average and a 4.79 slugging percentage. Off of him, he just has a 17.8% K rate to lefties, and he has a 6.25 xFIP. So I love the lefties here on the Angels. La Stella, Calhoun, Ohtani. Those all stick out. If there's any other lefties, like Justin Bour, if he cracks the lineup at first base, I'll have some interest in him. But so you really want to get some lefties here against Roark. And if you want to full stack the Angels, then don't be afraid to leave out Justin Upton or even Mike Trout, obviously best player in baseball. If you're going to be stacking the Angels, he should be in your stack. And this season, he has a 249 average. 9 of his 16 home runs have come against righties. He has a 232 ISO this season. 232 ISO, and he hits the ball. He has a 39.7% fly ball rate and a 46.4% hard hit rate. Hits the ball in the air and hits it pretty hard. So I like Calhoun quite a bit here at $3,900. So these are 6 picks that I like for the main slate. Like I said, this slate, there's not a ton of great hitting options. But I do like the Phillies a little bit against Vargas. Like Kingery, I like him. I like Harper, even though it's a lefty-lefty matchup. I love Hoskins. I think Franco makes for a nice play. Franco's extremely streaky. Extremely streaky is Franco. Got off to a very hot start and then was in a huge slump the last month and a half. And hitting back-to-back home runs in back-to-back games, I think he's going to snap out of it. Facing a lefty here, I like Franco. He's also very cheap. Next game here, I don't really have a ton of interest in any side. I think both pitchers are respectable. If you're playing some GPPs, you can mix and match. But for cash, not a ton of interest. Same thing with this game. In this game, I think you can look at a few Cardinals, especially though some of them that are cheap with power, like Paul Goldschmidt's only 4,000. I like him. Carpenter 4,200. Sign me up. DeWong at 44. Ozuna at 48. I think the Cardinals make for a pretty nice stack. On the A's, I'm mainly interested in some of the cheaper bats like Piscotty. I don't think Chris Davis is going to crack the lineup because it is a National League park. But I kind of am thinking about playing Wainwright, so I'm not going to have a ton of interest in this A's offense. But I don't mind Olsen just because he's a lefty, and Wainwright's been pretty bad against lefties. On the Braves, I have interest in the lefties against Darvish. So Freeman is my favorite play. Him and Markakis, I don't mind. On the Cubs are facing Dallas Keuchel. Don't have a ton of interest in the Cubs except for the righties. Like, I usually like to play the Cubs when they face a right-handed pitcher. So only interest in like Bryant, Baez. They stick out. I'm not going to be playing like Rizzo in a lefty-lefty matchup. Or Rizzo or Schwarber in lefty-lefty matchups. Love the Angels here. Lefties, particularly Calhoun. Already talked about it. Calhoun, La Stella, Justin Bour, Ohtani. Over here, we have the Rays and the Twins. Both pitchers are good. Don't have to worry about any offenses. Here, I love the Brewers stack. Don't mind a little bit of the Seattle stack, especially some of the ones that have power, like Vogelbach, Santana, and even though they're way too expensive are the Mariners, but if you play GPPs, you can stack them up because they'll be low-owned, like Smith, Santana, Crawford, Vogelbach, and Seager make for a nice 5-man stack. And on the Astros, I have quite a bit of interest in them. They make for a pretty top stack with now the Springer's healthy. But that's it for the video. Those are the picks I like. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.